5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey kids, just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water, our governor's done it again. Nobody's going to get that reference. It's from the movie Jaws 2, actually, and no one's going to get it, so cut. Hey guys, it's me. I'm just watching the news, and our wonderful governor in New York is proposing a ban on purchasing gun parts online. You heard it here first, unless you heard it someplace else. But yeah, where's that bottle of wind? Anyway, so I was going through my news, I just get on the computer and, read articles, and I came across this one right here. It says, Governor Cuomo, okay, there's our beautiful governor right there. Governor Cuomo, okay, proposes New York ban on purchasing gun parts online. Now, you might say to me, right? You might be saying to me, hey, Uncle Robbie, fix your camera angle. Yo, I digress. Okay, so basically an 80% lower is a piece of metal. Now, I gotta tell you, the plastic ones are less difficult to make, but, to complete, because you get it, it says 80%. What you would still have to do is file off pieces, mill out the trigger group cavity, drill the holes for pins. I've tried doing it before, and basically it was a waste of money because I ended up taking my hunk of plastic and just throwing it in the friggin' garbage. Because unless you have significant amount of skill to do it, you're going to fuck shit up and it's not going to work. So anyway, the aluminum ones, the metal ones, they're much, much more difficult to work on. I worked on the plastic ones, and you don't want to use them anyway. Really, in my honest opinion, you're better off just buying a finished lower from Palmetto State Armory at, for $40 and building your own. But he wants to ban online gun parts. So haven't seen the bill yet, but what it sounds like to me is like you couldn't even, order online from Palmetto State Armory. The upper, because from what I've heard, and I was turned on to this article from my friend Jared from Guns and Gadgets. If you ever get a chance, check his channel out. He's really good. I like his stuff. Him, Liberty Doll, they're the ones that I relate to. They're not the guys from down south with the big Smoky Mountain Man beards, even though I love those guys too. They're probably a little bit more palatable for us, how would you say, rock musicians. What happens is with an 80% receiver, once you get it milled out and drilled and you finish it, you've done the other 80% of the work that is necessary to make that hunk of metal an operational firearm. Now, it's always been okay. Just lost. As I said, it's always been legal in this country to make your own guns. I made my first gun back in 1988 or 87 when I was working Sile Distributors in New York City. I went home with a black powder rifle kit, a Hawken rifle kit, and because they actually manufactured them and imported them from their factory in Italy, the Di Robertis company. They brought them in, and I used to ship them out all the time. People would give people finished ones and unfinished ones as Christmas presents. They weren't expensive. They were maybe $110. And, I bought one, and, I actually took it home. I wrapped it up in paper first so nobody on the subway could see what I was carrying. I took it home, and I was there, I sanded the barrel down, and I fit all the parts and the frizz in and the hammer and all that. Or maybe that was the one that had percussion cap. I don't know. I did a couple of them. I did one that was a flintlock, one that was percussion cap. I made these old Kentucky rifles. It was just a hobby. And my dad helped me, and it was cool because I was like 19, and it was like a bonding experience. And my dad helped me finish the stock. So basically an 80% lower is kind of like building a model kit, or it's just a project, and I love models. You always see in my background, I usually have a Tamiya Jeep model or tank model sitting behind me. So I like building things, but as I was saying, the 80% lowers can be turned into fully functional firearms. Now, I've never done an AR lower, never actually got it completed because I just fucked it up, threw it away, and said, screw it. I'll just spend the $40 and get one with the serial number on it. Too much of a pain in the ass for my, general disarray. But anyway, God, this freaking computer's annoying. So anyway, now that I've given you the backstory on 80% lowers, I want to get back to the article here. Let's just pan back over to my screen if you can see that. There's our beautiful Governor Andrew Cuomo. Isn't he gorgeous? What a beautiful man. Look at that face. Oh my God, it should be like carved in stone in some Roman temple in, I don't know, Israel. So here's my screen, right? This is my screen right here, if you can see it. Can't see the bong in the picture, right? Okay, that's good. Because we wouldn't want anybody to think that I'm doing anything illegal. Cuomo proposes New York ban on purchasing gun parts online. It says New York Governor Andrew Cuomo on Thursday issued a press release calling for the ban of online purchase of gun components within the state. The Hill reports. So this is from Newsmax. I don't know, The Hill. This article is some. New York has the strongest. Let me do my Cuomo accent. New York has the strongest gun safety protection in the nation, but every day dangerous people seek to find new ways around them, Cuomo, a Democrat, said in a press release. This common sense measure would ban these untraceable guns and require anyone who wants to build their own firearm to come out of the shadows once and for all. And you don't need more than 7 bullets to kill a deer. Anyway, so I'll finish the rest of the article so you can look at me, not his fucking dirty fucking bulldog face. He goes on to single out 80% kits, which can be purchased online, contains instructions and about 80% of the parts needed to assemble a usable firearm, which is bullshit. It contains a lower that has about 80% of the machining done, but not the necessary finish 20% to make it actually function. Okay, so basically what you start out with is a hunk of metal, basically a paperweight, and it's about as dangerous as this. It's on my floor, obviously, but this is my paperweight, okay? This is solely the paperweight, and you know what? That lower, okay, when it's not machined out and finished, is probably less dangerous than this. I mean, I could throw this at somebody and hurt them. I mean, if I hit somebody with this, though, I'd probably end up hurting my own hand more than I'd hurt them. So, whatever. On to say, these kits allow people who would otherwise be prohibited from purchasing a gun to obtain various components and build a gun at home. Cuomo continued, these do-it-yourself firearms do not... Can I do his accent again? These do-it-yourself firearms do not contain serial numbers, making them untraceable by authorities. In 2019, the number of individuals using these untraceable guns in New York increased significantly. Dozens have been seized by law enforcement across the state. Which, when they say dozens, okay, yeah, I think. And I talked to the gun dealer in Albany about this. Great guy. If you ever want to get one, right on Central Avenue, big sign out front says guns. Nice guy. And researching this article and these videos that I'm doing right now on this subject matter. He basically was telling me about this. And in Pennsylvania, the state police asked the Attorney General about these 80% lower receivers. Now, Cuomo says you get 80% of what you need to finish the gun. No, you don't. You get the lower receiver, you got to finish the other 20% of the work on it, then you have to buy the rest of the parts. You got to buy the trigger mechanism, you got to buy the magazine release, you got to buy the slide. So, I mean, And yeah, you can buy these parts online. You know what? I've looked at and researched it. It's actually more expensive to build an 80% gun than it is to just go buy one. So why not go buy one? Now in New York, we do have the strictest handgun regulations in the country. Okay, in New York, it's not that you cannot carry a gun without a license. In New York, you cannot own a handgun without a license. Okay? You can't even have it in your house. You can't have it under your bed. You can't have it locked in your safe. You cannot have it buried in your backyard. You cannot have a handgun, period. If you get caught with one, it's a felony, right? Okay. So, our wonderful, illustrious Governor Cuomo, in 2013, right after the Sandy Hook shooting, enacted what was known as the New York State S.A.F.E Act. And by that, he banned the AR-15, the AK-47, which we can still get, but they have to be significantly modified before we can own them. You can't have a pistol grip. Maybe I'll go find a modified New York State compliant AK and AR and show you how stupid that rule is. So it bans a bunch of features on certain types of firearms. Now, certain types of firearms you can't get. You can't get a Kel-Tec 2000 or whatever it's called, the 9mm Kel-Tec, because it has a pistol grip and it's semi-automatic. You can get the Ruger PC-9, and I got a comment on my last video, and they said, what do you think of the Kel-Tec? I said, I don't know. I've never shot one, and we can only own the Ruger PC-9 here. So if you want a pistol caliber carbine, we're pretty much stuck with the Ruger. Not like it's a bad gun. It's a great gun. Haven't shot it yet. Got to get out there and do it. I'm aching to go. It's still locked up in my gang box since Christmas. I should take it out and, masturbate while I'm looking at it. But anyway, I digress once again. The S.A.F.E Act banned certain features on rifles. Now, a shotgun with a tube magazine, any semi-automatic firearm is not allowed to have a pistol grip. So if you have, say, a Remington 1100 or whatever they call it now, TAC 12, and it's got a magazine and a pistol grip, it's semi-automatic. It doesn't matter what the magazine is. It has a pistol grip. You're not allowed to have it. Now, you could have an 870 with the pistol grip, or a Mossberg 500 with the pistol grip, or even a Mossberg 590 Shockwave, which hasn't been banned in New York yet, because I guess nobody's used it to do anything illegal. Anyway, so what I was saying was the gun dealer I was talking to, he basically told me there was some guy in Schenectady who was buying these 80% lowers, and he was just cranking them out, and he was selling them. And of course, what Cuomo failed to mention was that ones that have been confiscated have pretty much been confiscated from gang members. Okay, and the guy who's manufacturing them, he was basically manufacturing, and I'm talking by the dozens, not some guy wants to make a AR-15 at home as a hobby with his son for a Boy Scout project or whatever. This guy was just cranking them out and giving them to gang members in Schenectady, or so I've been told. I don't know. Don't have the actual. I just have. I am reiterating a story that someone else told me. Okay, but he told me the DEA agent's name, or not the DEA, sorry, ATF agent's name. Who cracked this case. And so, basically they got, 20, 30 guns that one guy or two guys, were putting out there. The S.A.F.E Act didn't make anything any safer. 80% guns, like the Polymer 80, Spectres, I don't know what they're called now. Excuse me, I got to sneeze. Sorry, my allergies are terrible. Anyway, so here we go again. Okay, sorry, I'm back. Have to get a smoke and a beer. And trust me, a beer is what you need. So, anyhow, where was I? All right. The polymer 80 lowers can be made. They do make one for an AR type. They make one for an AR-15 type. They make an AR-10 type. They also make their polymer 80. I think they're called the Spectre. I'll go to their site and check out and see what they have now. A few years ago, it was called the Polymer 80 Spectre. There's tons of videos up on YouTube about how to put them together and how to make them. And YouTube has since taken them all down because they you can see them on BitChute and on whatever it is 30 whatever the gun site is, the gun YouTube thing is, Full 30 or whatever it's called. I don't know. I don't really watch it. So there's these things called polymer 80 lowers. And what you can do is you can take this piece of plastic. It's an 80% unfinished lower for a pistol, for a Glock, basically. And you file it out and you machine it out, and drill it out. And it's pretty complex. You don't want to try it, okay? Well, I mean, if you got some skill and agility, yeah, you can pull it off. All right, I've never done it, so I wouldn't know. But the polymer 80 lowers you could buy online from Brownells or Glock store or any number of places. And then what you would do is you could even buy the rest of the parts in kits on eBay. Okay, shipped right to your door. There's places where you can buy the whole kit and they send it to you. And if you want one, guys, and you're in New York or Pennsylvania, get one now before the shit hits the fan. Trust me, because you're probably going to end up needing it. So that's what happens. Now, the way he's talking is he would be banning all types of gun parts. That would probably include, you need a trigger spring, or a little tiny thing that goes under the trigger in an AR-15 under the sear, sear spring, costs you $1. They're going to make that kind of like a regulated part, I guess. That's what he's talking about, or that's what I've heard that he's talking about. So a little part that costs you 50 cents or $1 will have to be sent to a FFL dealer, of course, and he's going to have to give you a transfer fee. In New York, you can't buy ammunition by mail order. Okay, so if you see a sale of 5.56 Federal on Pimento State Armory, and it's, $250 for a case of 1,000, which is a great price, and you want to buy one, you say, oh, $250 plus free shipping. Also, you have to pay tax on online purchases now in New York, so if you're doing anything online, have it shipped out of state. Swear to God, it's easier. If you got a friend or a cousin or an aunt and uncle or whatever, just do it that way. But to buy ammunition, you have to have your ammo sent to an FFL dealer, okay? And my FFL dealer just closed. He was right here, and he's closing up. He's moving down south. He's moving to, Georgia, just because New York State sucks. Taxes are high, crime's high, too many goddamn leftists, and of course gun laws. He's moving out. But you'd have to have your ammunition sent to him, and then he would charge you a transfer fee or handling fee. And my guy was pretty reasonable. It was like $5 a case just to open the door for the UPS man. And then, you got to come pick it up. And he would cut you a deal if you bought a lot of it. Now, of course, with the New York State S.A.F.E Act, and I don't know if they enforce it because I don't know how they could, if you buy more than 1,000 rounds of ammunition, okay, they will put you on a watch list. Don't know, don't care, F that, you can't buy bullets anymore, and I guess that's how they're going to do us all in, is by regulating the ammunition. So, the S.A.F.E Act, Governor Cuomo, he's just going further and further and further. Now, okay, building illegal handguns, unmarked guns, do I think it's a good idea for society? Yeah, probably. I mean, at least somebody will have guns after they come door to door, kicking them in, confiscating shit. But there is a criminal element in New York, and New York has a big criminal element of dishonest drug dealing people and crap like that. But you also have a criminal element now that has been created because when the S.A.F.E Act was enacted, any magazine over 10 rounds was now a felony to have in your possession. So, a lot of New York gun owners are like, with this 80% lower thing, okay, I'm already felon if I get caught. In for a penny, in for a fucking pound. And that's about the end of this story, How far are they going to go? How far are they going to criminalize honest, hard-working, tax-paying, even more tax-paying people before this shit all ends? Anyway, guys, I don't know. But my friend Jared there on Guns and Gadgets, as he always says, he's like, be vigilant, be careful, and always carry a weapon. In the New York State, if you got carrying a weapon like this that wasn't a comb, you'd be a goddamn felon. So anyway, guys, as I always say, keep on rocking in the free world. Where's that Windex? Oh, you know what? I found out that this shit works a lot better. Seriously, you would never really want to do that because this shit is fucking deadly. Works great, but don't spray it inside the house. CLP Power Blast, man. Gotta love it. Break free. Blah, blah, blah.